ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has withdrawn from his engagements in Kimberley this morning. It's ahead of the ANC's 108th birthday celebrations. Voyo Mvoko and our political team in Kimberley this weekend for the celebration. Joining us live now from the Eastern Cape. Hello to you, Voyo. Any idea why the President has taken it easy? Well, we had Voyo Mvoko just a moment ago. We're going to go back to him in just a short while from now. I think he's busy speaking to a guest. We'll come back to Voyo and our team in just a moment. We'll find out why the President decided to take it a little bit easier this morning. Still a big weekend ahead for the ANC President and indeed the party. But the ANC does need to find a way to move away from their history and provide solutions to the problems facing the country. The Liberation Movement is celebrating its birthday this weekend, and one political analyst is telling us the party seems unable to work out how to move the party forward.
If one looks at the social dynamic, and I mean, I look at this at my students, for example, and the backgrounds and the life experience that they bring into the room. I mean, where they've actually come from. There is tremendous hope, yes, on the one hand, but on the other hand, we need to think beyond the events of, let's say, 25, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Indeed, we need to deal with the current realities, and that is, for example, a very different world to even 1994, and a very different way of thinking. Ethics and values don't change, or they shouldn't in certain respects. And the adaptation needs to occur. So factionalism in the party, in the organisation, on the one hand, we hear all these horrendous allegations of corruption on the other. The ship needs to be fixed, otherwise it may sink.
All right, let's go back now to my colleague, political editor Voyo Mvoko. We were hoping to speak to him a moment ago. We've got him back with us. Hello to you, Voyo, live from Kimberley in the Northern Cape. The President, the ANC President, we're told, taking it a little bit easier this morning and handing over some of his responsibilities. Any idea why? What's happened?
Well, we've been told he is a bit tired. He's had a very hectic schedule, and this morning things were not easy for him. He was then replaced at this golf day event by the Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, who, of course, given the news of the day, were asked why, the President didn't show up. Said he was tired and he had been asked to replace him. But not only that, we also asked him about the party's finances, which we were told went in a very good state at the moment. Paul Mashatile, of course, saying, look, it was a question of people making deposits at later than was supposed to have been the case, but he insisted that the ANC doesn't have financial problems necessarily, but he did, of course, indicate or disclose that they had gotten a private company that is going to look at the ANC, the composition of the ANC's structures and head office in particular, and make a determination as to whether the people they have are actually the people that they need. And that's a story that I think is going to be with us for at least the next few months as the ANC determines whether the people it has and the salary bill that it has is in fact what they need. Gareth?
One can't help but wonder if Paul Mashatile is a better golfer than the President. I wonder if they've got a friendly bet on as to who has the better drive on the golf course. Who would you put your money on?
Look, I'm not going to cast aspersions, but I do think that he's probably a better Treasurer General than he is a golf player.
I will promise not to repeat that to Paul Mashatile if I speak to him. The problem, though, is Paul Mashatile, while he's trying to have a nice day out on the golf course, he's still having to answer some very serious questions.
In fact, someone who knows him, someone who knows him, Gareth, is right next to me, and that's the Premier of the Gauteng province. I'm going to ask him to come and speak to us. Let's go and speak to him. He's right here. He's at the halfway. My Premier, how's your golf doing?
So-so.
So.
Yes.
That's
So-so, comme ci, comme ça.
That's a code word for I'm not doing very well.
Not very bad.
General, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yes, he is.
The Premier is also
He
doing
plays
well.
too much golf.
So you're basically carrying him
No, I'm not. It's not
in your
my
four-ball.
He's not my partner. I have my partner. So we are.
Your rivals, essentially.
He plays too much golf.
No, I don't play golf.
He's got way too much time on his hands, hasn't he?
I have no time to improve my golf.
You've got time to do what?
Just to run around in Gauteng. Yeah.
But is Gauteng doing as well as it should be doing?
Yeah, I am pleased with the matric results and the fight against crime. We're going to do even better. We have this program called Ukai Molao, and it's beginning to make an impact. Of course, I'm very worried about the shooting that took place on New Year's Day. The police are doing their best to get the perpetrators of that heinous crime. That's our job. Playing golf is not what I do every day.
Okay, let's leave it there for now. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's the Premier of Gauteng, David Makuragath.
Trust Voyo Mvoko to interrupt the Premier's golf game to ask him a political question. Voyo, before I say goodbye to you for the moment, I understand we've got a soundbite which we want to talk about. It is about Paul Mashatile and this issue, I believe, around Eskom and some calls for Pravin Gordhan to face the gauntlet on this. Unfortunately, yes, it's the ANC party, but they are the ruling party. They need to fix the power, don't they?
Indeed, and I asked him, I said, look, as the man who is standing in for your president, there have been calls from your own structures for Pravin Gordhan to be dismissed. What did you think of that? And here's what he had to say.
The question of deployment in government for ministers is really the prerogative of the president. The president will make an assessment if he feels that a minister is not performing. He will remove them.
And that's just some of the issues that the ANC are going to have to speak about this weekend. They're going to have to certainly get on top of the Eskom issue. As we now build up to this speech coming up this weekend, Voyo Mvoko, what do you imagine from what you've seen the past few days on the ground with the ANC is going to be the key for the ANC president to get across in this January 8 statement?
Look, Gareth, wherever he has gone since Monday, it's been the question that people, or the issue that people have been raising with him, has been the issue of jobs, and next to that, corruption and what the ANC government is doing about the fact that people who think they deserve jobs, even within government, for example, have been saying, look, we can't get jobs as much as we are deserving, but jobs are reserved for ANC cadres. And he was quick to dispel that, of course, insisting that everyone who is employed by the ANC, that we are told now has no money to actually pay them, but everyone who is there actually deserves to be there. And if there are any issues, people should raise those issues with him, and he pledged to investigate those issues. But with regard to the speech itself that is supposed to deliver tomorrow, I suspect, certainly from the conversations I've been having with some of the top ANC cadres who are playing golf here today, the ANC wants to reassure South Africans that it is on top of issues and it is not blind nor deaf to the concerns that they are raising, and is very much alive to them. And tomorrow, President Cyril Ramaphosa will assure South Africans that the the ANC does have what it takes to actually deal with their concerns, and takes into account that a lot of things have happened that shouldn't have happened in the past year or so, and it is hell-bent to try and correct the mistakes that have happened. But he did also say repeatedly that there are issues that are way beyond their control. Globally, there is unemployment. Globally, economies aren't doing particularly well, but the ANC is prepared to do the best that it can to make sure that South Africa isn't, or things don't get worse than they are currently.
Well, hopefully the ANC can get themselves out of the rough and back onto the fairway. Voyo Mvoko, before I start asking you to do golf commentary for me, I'm going to say goodbye for the moment. When we come back, we'll get a full golf update, political golf update from Voyo Mvoko, live for us in Kimberley in the Northern Cape.